Lossless Scale 3.0 is finally out. And in this test we are using i7 14700KF, 20 cores, 28 threads, 32GB of DDR5 RAM, and RTX 4070 Super. Let's see if we can make it as powerful as RTX 5090. GTA 5 4K resolution, ultra settings, no MSA and no advanced graphics. And with these settings we're rocking more than 100 frames per second. It is very playable, and we will need this FPS because by using lossless scale you will sacrifice some FPS to get more FPS. It doesn't really make any sense, but you will see what I mean. This is latest lossless scaling. Let's choose 3.0 version and mode 2x. And resolution scale, let's put about 60. I believe this resolution scale is for the frames which will be rendered between real frames. Make sure you will toggle HDR, and everything else you can just skip. And our base FPS went from 100 plus to 77, 75, but it is very smooth. It is crazy smooth right now. And our generated frames are actually doubled. It's 164, 162, 65. This is crazy. This is so smooth. I can kind of see it through the guy when I just move this so quickly. Only when I'm slowing down to like 4 times you can see artifacts. But once game in real speed, it is absolutely fine. And my screen is 165 Hz. And I think right now I'm utilizing almost all the Hz. When you're actually playing the game, it is absolutely perfect. I cannot spot any artifact or anything. Everything is just so smooth and so perfect. It is very similar to DLSS 3 in my opinion, or FMF2 from AMD. And when we're driving car, moving very quickly, everything again very solid. I'm very impressed by lossless scaling. It is true miracle. Check this out, no artifacts at all. If you can spot any, please tell me. And now let's change mode to 3x. Let's press scale, wait a few seconds, click on the game, and wait a few seconds more, and it should load. Yep, we're at 212 FPS right now. And we went from 110 to 69, nice. I wonder, can we spot any artifacts right now, because truly it doesn't have enough frames to make it perfect. Let's just move camera very quickly around my character and see if we can spot anything. It's kind of the same. It's hard to tell, to be honest, but we have more FPS, which is nice, and it's very smooth. I can see my character disappearing slightly. But I'm moving my mouse like crazy. No one's playing this game like this. And let's see during the fast movement, like riding a bike, any artifact. It is very smooth, very responsive, no latency at all. And I cannot see anything at all. It is just perfect. And when we reach grass area, still we drop a little bit to 180 FPS. And it is still perfect. As you can see, no artifacts almost at all. Maybe a slight motion blur, but all frame generations, they have this. And now let's try 4x mode. Basically 3 frames will be generated between 2 real frames, like on Nvidia 5000 series. And we added 40 frames per second, but our base went to 55. It's still very responsive, no latency at all. I think to feel latency you must have like 35 frames per second. And during the fast motion, if you can see anything, just please tell me, because I'm struggling to see. I think it's still very good. And we're rocking 200 frames per second. It's just nuts in this area. In city, most likely it will be 250 or even more. This new technology is just crazy. Do we even need new RTX 5000 series or Radeon 9070? When you can just double, triple, quadruple your FPS with this software. Of course, you must have base at least 60 FPS to double. To quadruple, I would say like 80 FPS. And for fun, let's switch 20 frames between 2 real frames. I wonder how it will look like. Okay, it's loading. It is loading. Yep. And it should be on now. 490 in the menu. But what about the game? And in the game, we're still at 490 FPS. I cannot feel 400. Most likely because my screen is 165 Hz only. And our base FPS went to 31 and to 24. I can feel latency, huge latency. But we have almost 500 FPS in GTA 5 4K ultra settings. This is just mind-blowing. Who needs 3x with 5000 series RTX when you can go 20x? Path of Exile 2, 4K resolution, DLSS quality, ultra settings. This is, to be honest, very demanding game. We're at 80 FPS already, so I would say we can go 3x and have good picture quality still. And during the explosions, our FPS will be 69 nice, 64, 68, 62. So 62 was the lowest, I believe. Yep. And also our GPU has perfect temperature, 69. And now let's try 2x lossless scaling. Normally it takes a few seconds and it's here, yes. We're at 120 frames per second now. And we went from 80 FPS to 60 FPS, so that's quite a big drop in my opinion. But now we're at 120, so it's like using frame generation, like DLSS 3. And again, I cannot see any artifacts, it is just perfect. And the gameplay is so smooth, just buttery smooth. Let's gather as many monsters as we can and see if we can drop our FPS below, let's say 100. Look how many monsters around, oh no, it's like 50 plus now, I believe. We're still at 110. Frame time is very smooth, and VRAM at 7.2. So basically you can use this on, let's say, RTX 4060. It appears monsters doesn't affect our FPS at all. The most FPS drop will be when I will use grenades, and I will use all of them. Let's try. And it goes to 77, 79, 77, 80. I can feel latency, and it's going back to 88, 79, 81. Yeah, grenades are just broken in this game. This is more FPS than I have when I played this game, so I would utilize lossless scaling myself from this moment. This is such a miracle, to be honest. And now let's check 3x mode. Let's click on the game, wait few seconds, and our base FPS is 58, 51. It went to 50 and 49, and we're at 150 frames per second. And it is again very smooth. It is definitely utilizing right now almost all 165 Hz of my screen. And during the fight, it is still the same FPS. I probably will play it like this from this moment. Such a cool software, lossless scaling. It's just free FPS. Technically not free, lossless scaling costs few bucks, but it is totally worth it. Or you can buy, let's say, for $2,000 RTX 5090. I would go with lossless scaling, to be honest. I will have to buy RTX 50 series just to do videos, but this is the way to go if you want to save your money. And during the grenades, our FPS went to 127, and it is going back, and still very smooth. And now let's try 4x. Just wait a little bit, it should load. And our base FPS now is 46, 47. It's basically the same, but we at 190 frames per second. And we don't have any artifacts still. It is very good experience. Let's fight monsters a little bit more and see if we can spot any artifacts. And it is so far so good. I cannot spot any difference than without lossless scaling, to be honest. On the side of a screen, the character, monsters, everything is just fine. For Path of Exile 2, lossless scaling is a miracle. And of course, for fun, let's try 20x also. I wonder what will be base FPS, like 35, 30, maybe even lower. 33, 22. Oh no. Latency is huge. But we're at 400 frames per second. Wow. It is not playable at all. Latency just killing the gameplay. But to have 400 frames per second at 4K ultra settings, DLSS of course quality, this is just nuts. Black Myth Wukong 4K settings, high preset, DLSS at 65. And we're at magical 69 FPS. And we can utilize 2x I believe and 3x. 4x probably will be a little bit too much. And during the fast movement, 64, 65, and frame time is nice, and we're utilizing 8.6 gigabytes of VRAM. It's perfect, perfect experience right now. And now let's switch on 2x lossless scaling, and let's wait for it. And we're at 106 frames per second, and our base went to 49.50 from 69. That's quite a big drop, to be honest, but it's still very smooth experience. I can totally play it like this, and I cannot see any artifacts again. It is like DLSS 3. It is perfect. And if I move my camera very quickly around the character, it's absolutely perfectly fine. I am very impressed, and I'm going to utilize 2x lossless scaling in most of the games from this moment. Of course, the problem might be 60 to 70 base FPS. Some cards they cannot just achieve without sacrificing too much. For this, you will need something like, let's say 3080 is nice card, 3070 is still decent, 2080 Ti, 2080 also. There are many cards, and they will go even cheaper once 5000 series will be out. And I would look for 3080 to be honest. And now let's switch on 3x mode. And let's wait for the FPS to show up. Base FPS is 49. Wait, it's the same. But we're at 150 frames per second. And it's very playable still. I cannot feel that much latency. I can feel slight delay. I'm not sure why. But we have base FPS quite high. Interesting. 2x was perfect. 3x, I would say slight delay. Teeny tiny. And if we'll go 4x, I wonder what we'll see. Will be like 200 frames per second, but most likely 30-35 base FPS. It won't do, right? Let's see. 44, 41, 45 still. It's again just slight latency, but 175 frames per second. Wow. Maybe with controller it is totally playable. On mouse and keyboard I can say just I can feel slight latency with mouse, but check this out. Can you see any artifacts right now? No. It's still perfect experience. In Black Myth Wukong, lossless scaling is working perfectly fine. Stalker 2 epic settings, DLSS quality, 2K resolution. This game is broken and I have to use 2K instead of 4K. And even at DLSS quality, 2K resolution, RTX 4070 Super and quite decent processor with 55 FPS, 49, 46 right now. This is unacceptable to be honest. And now let's try 2x lossless scaling. Will it save Stalker on this GPU? Just wait for it, and we are at 94, 90 FPS. And base is quite low to be honest, 45 to 43. And I can feel just slight latency, teeny tiny, but it is very playable. And we definitely have 80 FPS right now. Wow. This is true miracle to be honest. We are at 80 FPS, ultra settings 2K, but also this is very sad only because we have to what happened? Stutters. I'm not sure why. This game is so broken. Come on. I want to play and enjoy this game, but it is just so broken. I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting when they'll finish this game, when the real Stalker will come out and I will be able to play it. For now, I'm waiting. And now let's go inside the cursed town and see how much FPS we will lose. So 71, 68. Latency is huge. It's not playable at all. 35. It is so bad. Oh my god. 73 here. And check this out. Oh my god. 10 FPS. 55. Wow, the optimization is just bad. And the guy is artifacting like crazy right now. Check this out. In conclusion, Lossless Scaling 3.0 is just true miracle software. Two things you need to know before you will use this software. First, you will need to have at least, let's say, 70 FPS to have very good experience at 2x. If you want to go to 3x or 4x, make sure you have 50-55 FPS as base. Then you will have very, very good experience. 60-65, you'll have great experience. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in next one. Bye.